Ahoy and g'day once again to ye mateys! I be Josh the Pirate, and I be back for more Tactics Tyrsday with my lovely friend Ardanna, the Lorite herself, who is here to teach me
Hello.
7th C. Ardanna, who the absolute heck are you?
I am Ardanna, or Joe. I am the GM and channel runner over on the lower right, and apparently I'm also a I don't know, the
Regular
mole in a
contributor.
whack-a-mole over here on the Corsair's Cove as well, because I just keep popping up when you least expect it.
And today we are having a look at 7th C. Which is a system I've never even touched. In fact, until I started chatting with Ardanna, I'd never even heard of it. But with the whole OGL business of earlier in this year, we decided, and I say we, it was mostly Ardanna, decided that the adventures of Fridlin and Adelinda would be taking a breaklet. And we would, that same bunch of groovy peeps would be looking at a different system in that world. So we're going to be playing 7th C, but in the same setting, but new characters.
Yep.
And I can't be bothered learning how to play a new system today, so Ardanna's going to teach me! Whee!
It is really simple. It's exceptionally RP heavy. So everything you do is based on the narrative.
Awesome.
It's like there are two parts or two situations in the system where you roll dice. The rest is RP.
Excellent. And the dice you roll is a D10.
Yep.
Groovy,
So the
because I
D10
have a nautical D10 that has been yet to be christened. Actually, hasn't even rolled an attack yet, or rolled any damage yet. I'm saving it. That's going to be my D10 for the game. It was in the Christmas calendar. It was the prettiest dice that came in the really rubbish Christmas calendar that I had. Like, there was some nice stuff in it. I'm really stoked about this boy, this crocodile with a gun, this giant crocodile with a rifle mini that I'm looking forward to painting. And you know,
nice.
I did wind up painting the war boar. He's done.
Yeah.
I sat there painting while teching one of the Candlekeep games.
That was so much fun.
Dumpster Fire of the Year does go to Wizards of the Coast, Lilith. I mean, look, corporation's gonna corporate.
Yep.
Having a go at a corporation for being a corporation, and by corporation I'm referring to Hasbro, not Wizards, but yeah, they walked it back when we all told them to fuck off, and that was nice, and now it's all up in Creative Commons, and you know, that's fine, but it's done something that's really cool. It's basically just prompted everyone to go, okay, what else is out there? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
So I think if they actually had pulled it, we would have rallied. I reckon the group, the community would have rallied around our new system. What I think's going to happen now is that we aren't going. I don't think we're going to have that drive to find our new home. There is some really cool things. I think, the Black Flag project coming out of Cobalt Press is going to be a really interesting thing when they release that. But I don't think there's going to be quite the same unifying force to find a new system to play in. So that's good and bad. That means there's going to be loads of people playing in loads of different systems. Call of Cthulhu is always a good place to go, but it's not really my vibe, having tried it. I like Pulp Cthulhu, that's quite my vibe, but Jack came and ran a game of true Cthulhu for us, and we got the absolute best ending you could possibly have gotten, the top 1% best ending, and it still left me feeling unfulfilled, because I like happy endings, and and
well, then you're gonna love 7C.
Well, yes, so this is the thing. Am I curling my mustache, Black Angel? It is just being grown out at the moment, and it just curls itself nicely enough. I curled it for about a week deliberately, and it's just going yeah, I'll continue doing that. I have to put wax in it every 2 or 3 days, but at the moment, yeah, it's just the way it is now, and I'm fine with it, because it means I don't get it in my mouth while I'm eating. To answer Tony's question of earlier, Black Angel comes, rolls a D100, and whenever he gets a 69, we have to put a sex cult in. We are due for a sex cult in the Humblewood because one was rolled. And I think I know where I'm going to put it as well. I've had a very good suggestion from somebody about where to fit it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that works, actually. That actually does work. Lilith, I don't know exactly what they were thinking either. But we will see. Like, the whole... I've actually heard a few people say, oh, they put way more than they intended when they put all of their stuff up on Creative Commons because... You know, Strad von Zarovich is up on Creative Commons now. That's no one's IP anymore. And I'm just like, no, they knew exactly what they were doing. This is oh, please don't leave us. We love you. Please stay. And that's exactly what they're intending. They can always make up more bullshit. But yeah, Mind Flayers is now out in the creative world. There was not a lot of the stuff was already... They had very little that was really truly Wizards exclusive stuff. Mind Flayers is the big one that jumps to mind. Even a Beholder isn't an exclusively D&D concept. So yeah.
Hey, Seth.
We got into the weeds of it a bit. Like, I'd kept my trap shut on the subject until last Thursday, where Karen and I were playing Slay the Spire, and I was just sitting watching Karen play it, and it came up, and I was like, all right, look, here's my thoughts on the matter. I'm always, because of my upbringing as the son of an extremely right-wing pseudo-politician, like card-carrying member of the Liberal Party my father is, I have a little bit of that baggage in my head. There's always the devil's advocate in my brain going, yeah, but we live in a capitalist hellscape, and it's a bit silly to expect capitalism to not capitalism. So that, but at the same time, you did say you wouldn't, and then you did anyway. And tried to make us forget that you said you wouldn't.
For me, it's more of a, like someone put it in a comment, was that you have a community that are experts at finding loopholes and nitpicking rules until they break. And you expect this community to not notice what you're doing.
Yeah. These also, are the nerds. These are the internet literate ones. You're not going to get anything over on this lot.
And also, you're talking to people who play a game where the focus is gang up against the evil guy.
Yes. You're literally encouraging us to do this in the real world. And we appreciate it. And the worst part was the whole, we rolled a 1. I'm like, you know that the people who actually play the game in the company are like, no, don't say that, it's so cringe. But the lawyers are like, no, we're relating to the children. I was like, this is a game for grown-ups, let's be honest. Most of the people who play are adults. They often start as children, but we keep doing it. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes, anywho.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us. We are going to look at 7th Sea, a different thing. And we're going to build a character for me to play in Ardanna's world. And that's going to be quite interesting and fun. So let's play, I think, and seeing as it's a nautical-themed adventure ish, is that accurate?
Well, I think the original was the first 7th Sea. The name comes from a mythical area, just outside the map in that whole Here Be Dragons region.
Yeah.
But it kind of expanded to become a whole continent. So in the original world, okay, now I have been playing in so many different worlds with similar names, so I'm gonna actually make sure I get it right. Thea.
Oh, yeah.
Because I play in Theros, and then I play in Thea, and then there's the world you play in Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, which is which also starts with Th. So yeah. But the continent of Thea is basically based on Renaissance Europe.
Right. Okay.
So
Is black powder a thing?
yes, it is. So you can have firearms, but it takes a lot to reload.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you basically have one shot. That shot, however, is going to do a massive amount of damage.
But the goal is
So-
not to kill people, so that's fine.
Yes. So if you look at your death spiral, all the stars are called critical wounds.
Right. Well, let's
And-
have a look at the character sheet then. I shall pop that
Yep,
up
yep.
there. Yeah, we have the little character information stuff. Now, as I understand it, it's very based on the concept of the person. So that's actually quite an
Yes.
important thing. And then we've got the death spiral that you were talking about in the bottom and the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So taking damage in 7C, it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, it looks like
it's-
the first set of damage is all like +1 bonus dice to all risks. That actually looks positive.
Yeah. So, and the first critical wound you get is just that, bonus die to all risk. But if you
right.
click on the second one,
Villains gain +2 bonus dice. That's bad.
yes. Then you click on the third one.
Your D10s
All 10s.
explode! Oh, your 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you nat 10, you get an extra dice. And number 4, you become helpless.
Yes.
And what
Which
if
means
that you could die?
Sorry?
That means that you
Yes.
could die.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that that you have to die, but you can.
Yeah. Hey, Arcane Keeper, good to see you as well. Thanks for joining us.
Yush.
So, let's begin. Let us begin creating this person. I have arrived slightly underprepared. I have a name. I have a name, which I didn't even make up. I'm borrowing it from. I recently, in the last 2 days, I reread Project Hail Mary by the guy who wrote The Martian, whose name escapes me. And it's not in the same series, it's not a series at all. But yeah, he's written 3 now, and the middle one was very tonally different, and now he's back to writing what he's really freaking good at, science-heavy sci-fi. And it's really, really good. It bugs me that I can't remember who wrote it, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure chat will tell me in a minute. But in it, there was a character called Olenya Petrovna.
Yep.
I should probably pick a name I can actually pronounce. Olenya Petrovna. And she was the person who initially discovered the problem that the book is about. I think Olenya is a really pretty name. Olenya Petrovna will be the character, and conceptually, I really like the idea of being because as you say, we are sort of crime scene investigation 1600s, CSI Renaissance, which is a fun sentence to say. So I really like the idea that she is an investigator for a law enforcement organization, and utilizes this to scope out places from which to thieve from.
Nice. Yes,
So
absolutely.
she's
I
like,
that.
I'm investigating this murder in the museum. And what are your security measures actually? I see. And they managed to get past. How would they have gotten past that? I see. And have you updated the system? How have you updated the system? That sort of thing. So yeah.
Okay, so let me actually we're gonna skip those bit there. Hero creation. So in the hero creation, you have 20 questions that you have to answer
Awesome.
about your concept.
Yes.
So step 1 is, what concept do you want? So in this case, it's a burglar type investigator.
She's a
Ish.
cat burglar by night, but by day she is, crime scene investigator. But I reckon she is sweet and adorable.
Okay.
She does not look like a criminal, and she doesn't even really look like a police officer. She's a cutie.
Nice.
She looks like she should be delivering cookies to grandma, not, robbing a bank or investigating someone else robbing a bank.
So the first question in the concept is, what nation is your hero from? So in Thea you have a bunch of different nations, and that decides your first few traits, I think I want to say.
Is it like in Mass Effect where you pick a background and that gives you +1 to shooting and +1 to
Oh no, background is different.
Okay.
So Thean heroes.
Gwenpool. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's base traits, nation traits. You choose a nation. Your decision on nation affects your traits. So yeah, you get to choose one trait that you add a +1 to, depending on your nation. So here you have Avalon, Innismore, and Highland Marches are all based on the British Isles. So Avalon is England, the Highland Marches is Scotland, and Innismore is Ireland.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, well, Avalon is like Wales and England if you just mash them together. It's
Arthurian England. Avalon is where Arthur was searching for. It's not even that big a leap.
Yeah. Exactly. So Castile would be Spain.
Spain, yeah.
Eisen
it's actually one of the bits of Spain, yes.
Yeah. Eisen is basically Schwarzwald area of Germany.
Oh, cool.
Montaigne would be France.
Yeah.
Sarmatia, Sarmatian Commonwealth is
Turkey, isn't it? Like Persia.
Sarmatia would be if you have Turkey, but with Greek
and Hungarian. There was like Vlad the Impaler era Turkey was.
Yeah, basically that, but it's ruled by a democracy.
Oh.
Or ruled as a democracy. Cool. So everyone has an equal voice in the Sarmatian Commonwealth.
That's cool.
Then you have Usura, which is Russia. And you have Vestenmenavenjar, which is Scandinavia. And Vodacce, which is Italy. So...
Cool. Are we playing in this setting, or are we playing in your Sommerfeld duchies?
We're going to be playing in the Sommerfeld duchies. So the equivalency I would make is that Avalon would basically be Dragon's Rest Islands, where you were with Frimlin and Ada.
Yeah. That totally tracks. Ada even has the right accent for that, yes.
Yes. The Sommerfeld duchies would be a combination of Castile, Eisen, Montaigne, and Vodacce. So, depending a little bit on where exactly.
Yeah.
In the duchies, you would be is where it's more like some parts are more fields, some parts are more mountainous, some more parts have more forests. So it depends a little bit. And I would say Avalon. No, those were up there. The elven areas is also a little bit of Avalon, but more of the spiritual bits. So
my vibe is Castile.
Okay.
Just so on instinct.
Yep. So Castile would be like Spanish.
Yeah.
proud and basically you would basically be a young Spanish woman at this point. What did I do? I messed something up. So let's look at Castile. So for that, I would say that you're from a neighboring duchy, and because the one where you will be playing would have a more of an Eisen vibe to it. But all of them are interconnected. Like you can travel freely between the different ones.
It is a nation of duchies, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a high duke or a king or whatever?
No, they're
Is it more like Italy, like loads of nation states?
Yeah, but all of them rule together, but they
like
have separate laws.
A council?
Yes, basically, yeah.
Okay.
So I would say for Castile, I need to check the beautiful map that Terrace made me real quick. I also figured out how to move that into Incarnate, so I'm gonna detail it out.
Awesome.
Where are you? You're here. There we go. So all of these duchies are ruled by the Sommerfeld family or people appointed by the Sommerfeld family.
Right.
And all the heads of house in the Sommerfeld family are vampires. It's common knowledge.
Yeah. But they're sort of not vegos, but they only eat convicted criminals. Is that the thing?
That's the general vibe
right.
of it. That's most people understand it that way. Of course, there are some things that don't really jive there, but yeah. So I would say Castile is more of one of the neighboring ones. One of the bigger duchies is called Anander, which is the more Spanish. So when you choose a hero from Castile, you would get nation bonus. You can choose either +1 to finesse or +1 to wits. Finesse is your dexterity.
Yeah.
And wits is your intellect.
Yeah. That both of those play well. My gut says finesse to begin with, or no, those are the two I would have picked. Probably let's say wits to start with. Now there are 2 filled in already. Is that just sort of you have a basic?
Yeah, everyone starts with 2 in each trait.
Right. So I add a 3rd to wits.
Yes.
Yep.
And then, do you want to play an elf, a human, or a Damfir?
Ooh.
That's not in the actual books. That's something I add to it to fit my world.
What's the difference?
So because you get different advantages depending on what you pick. I made a list of it.
Oh yes.
If I can find it.
I think they were in the chords.
So
in
as
chat?
here we go. As a human, you can pick between Reckless Takedown, Valiant Spirit, Handy, or Able Drinker.
Oh, yep. As an elf, you can pick between Signature Item, Fascinate, Indomitable Will, or Sorcery.
Yep.
And the Damfir second story work, that was the one. Eagle Eyes, Sorcery, second story work, Disarming Smile.
Yes.
And Damfir being a half vampire, right?
Yes, yeah.
A daywalker.
Yeah, basically. All of these you can get anyway, but these you get for free.
Right. I think given the build, given what I'm intending, sorcery makes sense, as does second story work. To locate a way into a building or restricted area, you can bring up one other character along with you. I mean, second story work definitely feels like a good idea. So
Yeah.
it's probably got to be Damphia, right?
Well, like I said, your background will also give you a set of advantages, and you
Right.
can always buy more event later as well.
Right. Right.
So I'd say pick a background or a heritage that fits your character more than a trait that you
Right.
think would fit.
I think elf then.
Okay.
I think elf, and I reckon. What does Indomitable Will do?
So let me check advantages. Indomitable Will is after another character attempts to intimidate, seduce, or otherwise goad you, you can spend a hero point to automatically resist it.
Ooh. I think she's a pretty cool customer, so that would track. But at the same time, I think she... Hey, Azura's Fire! Nice to see you. But at the same time, I think... And I'm just trying... because I don't know the system at all, I'm just trying to sort of get a feel for the sort of the relative power of them. What's sorcery, for example? Like, sorcery feels like, oh, you can do magic. I'm like, that's way more useful. Is that hero point to do magic, or is that...
Yes, you would use a hero point. So, hero points work that each session you start with 1 hero point.
Right.
You can gain hero points by choosing to fail a risk,
yeah.
doing something heroic, or there are various different ways, but hero points are very rare.
Right.
So I think you can at most have 3 hero points per session.
Wow, okay.
And there are some advantages that also use hero points, and you can also spend hero points to buy extra dice.
Wow. So they're a very, very limited commodity, but also very valuable, but also difficult to acquire. Also very useful.
Yes.
So it's you're wanting it for an. So I'm trying to sort of figure out what it would, how I would want to balance the usefulness of it. So you want something that you would use rarely, but has a good utility. Because rather than building your character around being a sorcerer, because magic is not something you're going to be able to do very often.
Exactly. So, magic is extremely powerful, but you can't use it very often. It's like early D&D, you would have 1 spell per day.
Yeah, you're a level 1 wizard. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think I'll go sorcery. I like Indomitable Will as an idea. That makes sense. What's Fascinate?
Let me... advantages. Fascinate is basically...
Like Charm?
Yeah. You can spend a hero point to capture the attention of another character. That character pays attention only to you until the end of the scene, or until you cease speaking or paying attention, whichever comes first. So
And
it's basically...
Sorry, carry on.
It's basically you spend a hero point for them to actually have to struggle to pay attention to anything else.
Yeah, that's neat. And signature item for thoroughness?
That is a pretty strong one as well.
Dear me. I'm not tired, I promise. You're tired, leave me alone.
Well, I am, so... You can choose a specific item that is important to you. You can always spend a hero point to have your signature item appear in the next scene if you lose it or it's stolen. You can gain 2 bonus dice on the risk when using your signature item. You can attack a foe to deal wounds equal to the races you spent plus your highest trait when using this item. And you can prevent a number of wounds equal to the races you spend plus your highest trait when using it. So basically, if you attack and your signature item is a rapier, you can use a hero point to add your highest trait in the scene to the damage you deal.
Ooh. I think I would go signature item, and I would go a dagger with which she uses to sort of, it's one of her sort of tools of the trade, or possibly I don't want to go not a lockpick. I don't want to go a crowbar, but that sort of vibe. She has a dagger that it doesn't look like a weapon. It is a common or garden eating knife. You know, it's not something you would use as a weapon. You could use it as a weapon because you could stab somebody with any knife, but it's not a double-sided blade. It's a one-sided blade that you would use more for chopping and cutting things. But there is a lot of, she is very practiced at using it to like lever open windows and stuff like that. Break open locks and things. So it is it is a subtle weapon, a subtle knife, if you will, if you're a fan of Philip Pullman. I definitely think that. Or where would I put that on this character sheet?
So,
pop that in advantages?
Yes, under advantages, just type in signature item. It will, all of the descriptions and such will not fit on this character sheet.
Yeah.
So I will give you the descriptions later so you can have on a separate document.
She is an elf. Signature item, knife.
So I'm gonna pop this description over to you for signature item, so you can paste it in a separate document later.
Thank you. Cat burglar / investigator.
Okay. So, question number 2 is how would you physically describe your hero?
Physically describe? Pocket rocket. She is cute as a button. 5 foot nothing. Looks like very youthful looking, with a sort of vivacious is a really good word. Sort of lust for life. Really keen as a bean. You know, all of these nasty little irritating sayings. She inspires the white knight instinct in any man who sees her, and she plays upon it mercilessly when it suits her.
Nice. Well, that ties into the third question. Does your hero have recurring mannerisms?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Batting of the eyelids, I think. She's been known to swoon on occasion. And she will... Oh, thanks, Tony. She will even... I think she can cry on cue. She can faint at well, like she's like she goes. She's gotten good at pretending to have the blood drain from her face. Like goes pale at the sight of blood, but it really doesn't faze her at all. Like she's actually got. She is a practiced dissembler. She has a bunch of recurring mannerisms, but they are all fake.
Okay, question number 4. What is your hero's main motivation?
It's the thrill. She doesn't do it for money. She does it for... She enjoys it. It's an addict. She's, it's like gambling, but worse. She enjoys the adrenaline.
Okay. So the examples they have, what keeps your hero going when his ship has been sunk and he's marooned on an island? So that's like what the thrill of the thrill
of the chase, the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
The thrill of not getting caught. Like, she is actively worked on cases that she is the culprit.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, another cold case, but she is never the one to suggest stopping. She is often the most ruthless follower of her own crimes. Like, we will catch this fiend! And no one suspects.
Question number 5 is, what is your hero's greatest strength and greatest weakness?
Greatest weakness is probably she desperately wants someone to catch her. She desperately wants someone to acknowledge how brilliant she is. Because no one knows. And she's like, I get away with all these crimes, I'm so fucking clever, and no one's noticed, and it's really irritating. So there is lurking in the back of her mind this desire to be caught. Just once, ideally by somebody who can't actually pin it on her, but does work it out.
Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily caught and punished. I don't want to be punished, but she does want someone to know. And to still have her get away with it, that would be great. Greatest strength is hard. I think probably her wiles, her feminine wiles is probably her greatest strength. Like, her size and stature make people underestimate her.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, what are your hero's most and least favorite things? And this could be anything from fluffy bunnies to starry nights and, you know.
Yeah. I think, whilst it is an act, she does actually like cute stuff. But she hates herself for it. No, I hate it. It's like, oh my goodness, you don't know. And in her head, she's like, oh, this works for your character, but fuck you. Why do you have to be like this? So I'm actually gonna go with fluffy bunnies. Yeah. I think fluffy bunnies is like, like anything, baby animals. Baby animals of any stripe. Cows. Baby cows, particularly, let's say. Like, she goes past a dairy farm, you lose her for half an hour. Particularly in lambing season, the worst. Little fluff balls. That's it's something that she loves but hates about herself for loving. So actually, I think I've answered both sides of that in one. Her favorite thing is that, but it's also the thing that she hates the most about herself is that. Like, oh, you're so cringe. Oh, but they are adorable. Yeah.
Question 7 is, what about your hero's psychology? Is it hard for her to restrain her anger? Does her passion get away with her? Maybe she thrives on the rush of adrenaline?
Definitely that bit. I don't think she's as I say, I think she's a pretty cool customer. That she's very used to playing people, and makes. I think she derives joy from pulling the wool over people's eyes. But for all that, I don't think she's a sociopath. I don't think she's like she's not psychotic. She just but definitely a
like more of a game than actual for gains.
Yes, it's definitely like she would steal a worthless item. I could even see her definitely returning some of these things. Like then it shows up 3 weeks later with a note saying, "Thanks, that was fun," or "Hey, maybe next time lock the window." Like
almost like a white hat hacker.
Yeah. Like it's more the thrill of it, and I think possibly once or twice when because she's involved in the pursuit of the thief. She knows they're getting close. She's like, I should probably return that. Hey, and like, fuck, I think they're onto me. Actually, do I want them to catch me? Nah, this could mean jail time, and I don't get to keep doing this, which is really fun. All right, I'll give it back. And so the thing returns mystically, and so the heat goes off. Narcissist, that's the word. I think she's a bit of a narcissist. She's very proud of herself. But for all that, plays the part and is self-effacing and demure when she needs to be.
Okay. What is your hero's single greatest fear?
Goo.
I mean,
anything slimy, sticky. Yeah.
Yes.
Seaweed, the worst. Like swimming through seaweed. No, hard pass. Like, yeah, like no, I'm gonna die. This is how I die. I'm on this island and I'm gonna die here because I cannot swim off it because of the weed. Like it would like probably not quite that, but like it would be a strong resistance to going through that. Yeah, I think it's a proper phobia. And it would, like, if you dunked her to her waist in green goo that she couldn't see the bottom of, that would incapacitate her. Like, just, oh god, oh no! Like, that or wild flailing. Like, get me out, get me out, get me out! Yeah.
Thinking about that makes my skin crawl.
I was swimming across a lagoon in Finland, and there was about halfway across weed, and it was really, and my phobia is actually more about not being able to see the bottom. And the weed made it very bad, and I got about halfway through, and I was just like, oh, I'm losing my cool. Losing it very badly, and the guys I was swimming across with are like, "You're gonna keep coming?" I was just like, "Yeah, I'm fucking going." It was a bad day, and they got there and like, oh, "I didn't think you were scared of the water." I was like, "I'm not scared of water. I'm scared of deep water that I can't see the bottom of." And they were like, "Oh, it's really shallow." I'm like, "Oh, weed. I also hate that. Hated that." Because you don't know what's in it. Could be anything. Could be nothing. Could be anything. Yeah.
I don't really have a difficulty when I can't see the bottom, which if you ever come to Sweden, we're not going to the coast because fjord. The shallow end is 75 meters deep. But I dove down at one point and I managed to hit a jellyfish, and it just slime. Oh yeah, when the water is cool enough, they come in and swim around there. And when I dove down, my hand just went slid across a jellyfish. And
it's like, and there's and it's like, achievement unlocked, bling, new phobia.
Yeah, well, I had it before, but the achievement in that case was, hey, I didn't know my voice could echo like that, especially not here.
Yeah, we were sailing on the Swan River with high school, and Swan River in summer, the jellyfish, we get decent size, sort of that yay big orange jellyfish, and it just fills the entire fucking river. And they don't sting badly, but when there's enough of them in the water itself just becomes sting. So I would come back with like red marks, nasty red welts from not being in the water. I would just from being splashed. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not fun for me.
There are instances when you, especially in early summer, when you go down to. My partner has a summer house.
Oh yes.
Near this fjord. And so when you go down to the beach, you can just see the entire surface is covered in jellyfish. And I was like, all of the no to that. I am fine here.
Lovely up on the dry. Yeah. Like, I'm a water baby. I learned to sail when I was 6. I learned to dive when I was 8. My mum and dad were both on their high school's diving teams. And then Dad was in the Navy. Yeah, I've always been in and around the water, but yes, some weird phobias around it. I think the deep water one came from when we were sailing out in the Gulf around Singapore, and we got well blown off course, and Dad and I were out in the shipping lanes, and the water around Singapore is not clean. It's muddy and mucky and gross. And there was a massive oil tanker bearing down on us, and we capsized. And I was like, is this how we die, Dad? And Dad's like, it'll be fine. Oh, there's a sea snake. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we don't really have time to turn the boat back over. Just get up on top of the boat. I was like, because of the sea snake? He's like, yeah, because of the sea snake. The oil tanker will avoid us. We'll miss the oil tanker. I was like, you sure about that? About 10. And since then, deep water really doesn't do it for me. I think that might be where. Anyway, we didn't come here for trauma counseling. So yes, goo is the answer to your question.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your heroes' highest ambitions and their greatest love?
Highest ambition. I think he's not like... She's an elf, fairly long-lived, and I think she's quite young. How long do elves live in your world?
About 500-600 years.
Okay. So she's probably 200 at most. And probably in her mid-150s. And... yeah, I don't think she does this for the money, but the money is nice. And she's got a nice little trust fund building up. And she has... back of her mind, she's like, you know, in 100 years or so, I could retire and be a fancy country lady. So that's her sort of her retirement dream, is get herself a harem of handsome young men. I think she's got a bit of a thing for humans. Because of their short-termness, as far as elves are concerned. She's like, got 2 decades max with a human before they're a bit worn out. And then you can have a new one. And yeah, find herself 3 or 4 gorgeous pool boys and retire to the country for a life of luxury to live on her ill-gotten gains. But she wants to have a life and experiences and adventures before that. So yeah, her goal is great fun, and then a fancy retirement. So nothing particularly special, just luxury, I suppose, to distill it to a single word, is her goal. Highest ambition. She's never robbed a vampire. She's never robbed a Summerfelt. She's probably robbed a vampire, but she's never robbed a Summerfelt. And... because that's fucking stupid. But, like, when the perfect score comes along, when the opportunity arises, she'll definitely give it a swing. So, probably that. Probably I'd like to, just once, just maybe something small. Something I can get away with. Maybe I'll give it back shortly afterwards, but...
just
or, actually,
a little bit.
Possibly, ultimate goal, ultimate, like, fantasy would be steal from a vampire, get away with it, then have them figure it out and not be mad about it.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Like, just have a vampire's respect. And nothing else. Like, oh, you caught me! Well done, you did great. Here, give me my thing back. Okay, you can go now. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that could be fun to explore. Yeah, absolutely. Mental
A few
notes.
ideas.
Yeah. What is your hero's opinion of their country?
I don't think she has any particularly strong opinions. I think she's... is there a fair amount of nationalistic pride? Or Ananda?
I mean, for the most part, the common folk would be like, well, this is where we live. We are not going to be leaving this place. It's very far to the border. And why would you want... Like, think hobbits. Like, why would we travel when it's perfectly nice here?
Yeah, it's lovely. Like, is there a particular... I feel like she would be a sporting... She would follow a sporting team. If there was, like, a jousting team or something. She would definitely be a cheerleader in the stands. Like, fucking take his head off! Yes!
Oh, yeah. I would
and the dudes in the department, like... Oh, Lena. Wow. Didn't see that coming. Like, she comes in the full scarf and everything. Like, yeah, she's... The teams get up. So, I think she could be quite passionate about where she's from. Like, a bit of nationalistic pride, but in terms of having a strong opinion about the way it is governed, she would be, I think, almost deliberately apolitical.
Yeah.
Not insofar as that she deliberately... that she doesn't have opinions, as she doesn't share her opinions.
Yeah, checks out. And yeah, this would be like, I can see like fencing competitions and stuff like that happening. It's a lot of, chivalry and things like that.
Even like boxing down on the docks. Like if an Ananda came and like the Ananda champion came and was there, she'd be barracking for him all the way. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like between the duchies, like there are jousting contests or fencing contests, and yeah,
tourneys. Yeah. Awesome.
Does your hero have any prejudices?
Ooh. Yeah, Tony, I was thinking rugby, actually. Yeah, she would definitely, she would paint her face the colours of the flag. She would, wear the bobble hat and the scarf. Yeah.
I miss rugby.
And, she would be there exclusively for the thick dudes in tiny shorts. Yeah. She is an oddly sexual being, I think. She doesn't play that up, but yes, her fantasies are very much her own. Sorry, what was your any prejudices? I don't know. I don't know if I know enough about the world really to say.
You don't have to answer all these questions right now, but they're worth thinking of. Especially the last one, I'm gonna give you a lot of time to think of. So,
okay. I think that the only one that sort of jumps to my mind immediately is sort of she has a very low opinion of people who do not guard their wealth properly. Like she. I think it actually is at least part of her driving thing is that, like, if I can steal it from you, you don't deserve it. Like, you're not looking after it properly. You don't deserve if you've got so much that you can be this careless. Not necessarily because she's very good at what she does, but like if it's a real walk in the park for her to just snatch something. Like she's not a pickpocket, but if there's a fancy gold ring on the on a cafe table next to somebody, and she can just sort of yeet and just as she's just walking by, just scoop and just quickly just nab it. She's like, you don't need that because you weren't careful enough about it. Street thieves are a thing. So as a prejudice, it would be like judgmental about the uber rich, if they are careless and callous with their wealth.
Yeah.
It's the only
So
one that immediately jumps to mind.
So basically, against snobs who are a bit, or nobles who are a bit loose with, like,
Yeah.
I have so much that it doesn't matter.
I don't even notice. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Question 12. Where does your hero's loyalties lie?
Herself. Very egocentric. But it can be won. I think she would be, if she owes you, she's got your back until she feels she doesn't anymore. Until she feels she doesn't owe you anymore. But like if you cover for her, or it's, yeah, I think ultimately it's just to herself. And if she will very rarely act outside of her own best interests, but it's not hard for her to see how her best interest aligns with other people's, and act accordingly. And if it doesn't go against her best interest, then she'll definitely act in somebody else's. Coins, is that the thing my servants use? Yeah, exactly, Tony. That sort of a person. Yeah, like, oh, I lost my wallet. Never mind, I'll buy a new one. It was only 6,000 crowns. Yeah, that sort of a... Yes, he threw up all over my Jimmy Choos. Never mind, they were cheap anyway. Yeah, that.
Okay. Is your hero in love? Are they married, betrothed, or widowed, maybe?
No. I don't think so. I think, again, it's one of those things. She loves the idea. She's, similarly to the bunnies and baby cows thing. If rom-coms were a thing, if Mills and Boons were a thing, I don't know if that's a Swedish reference that you'd get, but like if fairy porn was a thing, she would A, love it, and B, hate herself for loving it. She loves the idea of love at first sight, hates herself for loving the idea of love at first sight, and also has yet to experience it but would love to, but hates herself for that. Yeah. Okay, oh, he seems dreamy. Fuck you.
Family. Does she have living family, or does she have...
Yep. I think... quite a well-adjusted middle-class family. I think mum and dad. I think dad worked in the force, or does still, or like worked in law enforcement as well. And that's where she got A, her skills in law enforcement, and B, her skills in thievery. Because he would always come home, like, I think that's where it started. He would come home like, oh, this guy just wasn't looking after his cash at all. What the hell? And, yeah, she was like, really? Tell me more, father. And that was where it started. Mom, extremely wholesome. I think probably quite a large family. Sort of 5 or 6 siblings with a fairly wide age gap. And so she was never, like, obviously mum and dad both did their best, but there was a lot of children to supervise, and once they get to their teens, you know, it's a little hard to keep your eye on all of them all at once, so she used the opportunity as the sweet, cute one, which she's been, like, utilizing for years. She was the good girl. She went to the library after school, you know, she never got in trouble, she never got in fights. She was the one mummy and daddy could trust. Totally not the one mummy and daddy could trust. But no. Yeah. I think that it's a very young age that she's been pulling this, and it's always worked. Yeah.
Oh, I have a perfect idea for an adventure. Oh, for a story for you. Based on that.
I think she had a boy that she did fall head over heels for, and he broke her heart. and in a really quite cruel sort of a way. Like everybody loved him, and he just, yeah. No, I think Mummy and Daddy were very loyal to each other, Tony. I don't think Dad was promiscuous. He maybe drank, but not a problem. Just he would come home. He would, like, if you couldn't find him at work or at home, he was probably in a bar. But not to a, like, and, you know, more than Mummy would have liked, but not enough that it was really a problem in their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't burn too much of his salary on it. Like, he probably should spend less, but look, any drinking is too much, but yeah, the boy broke her heart, and it sort of, she's almost steeled herself a bit from it happening again. That burned her really badly, and she's still healing a bit from that.
Yep. How would your hero's parents describe her?
Oh yeah, no. Living parents, just a drinking problem. The one we got right. Hilariously.
Yes.
Yeah. She's always there every holiday. She always shows up with nice presents as well. She's got a good job. You know, she worked hard. She did all the right things. She
obviously saves up to get all these nice presents.
She lives properly. She lives clean. You know, she doesn't mess around with boys. She doesn't drink. She probably doesn't drink. So if she, yeah, well, that, yes. Yeah, she doesn't trust herself if she was to, yeah. She maybe let something slip one time and she's like, okay, never drinking again. That's, yeah, don't do that. Yeah. Or possibly, no, let's leave it at that. I think that's probably the best.
Is your hero chivalrous?
When it suits her.
Okay.
She would definitely help an old lady cross the road. Yeah.
So the question is really, is your hero a gentle? Being a gentle means that your hero attempts to follow the code of chivalry. Your hero's word is his bond. Of course, there are those who see you as a foolishly old-fashioned, but there's always the possibility of having a moon-eyed damsel or a handsome young poet fall in love with you.
I think it is an image she cultivates. It may not be her core beliefs, but ultimately what you do is important. And so she would do it. Just wouldn't necessarily... It's not her values, it's a useful thing to do, to be known to do. And I think it fits her persona that she puts on for everybody else's benefit. So the vast majority of the time, yes, except when she's doing her thieving.
Is she religious?
Depends on the religion.
I mean, there is a god specifically dedicated to trickery. So
yeah, there is a pantheon.
Yeah.
Is this a sort of situation like D&D? We know the gods exist. We've met some of them. Like, there is, like, so faith isn't really a thing. It's more like, who do you give particular reverence to?
Like, yes, everyone knows the gods exist, but
do you actively worship? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so
I don't think she is particularly. I think if it is, it's superficial.
Yeah.
Like, she kowtows to the god of law and order because you're a police officer, you should. But I don't think it's a passion for her. I don't think so.
Nice. Okay.
If anything, she thinks, like, the trickery god, she's like, I think the best trickery god, the best form of worship I can do is what I do. He doesn't need my love. Yeah.
Yeah. Is your hero a member of a guild, gentles club, or a secret society?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she'd be up for being in a thieves' guild. She doesn't want anyone to know she's a thief, except that she secretly does. But she's not going to tell anybody. If someone finds out, great. And if a fellow thief did find out and said, hey, do you want to join the thieves' guild, or tried to pressure her into doing it, if someone tried to pressure her into doing it, she would not. Unless they say, well, then I'll tell everybody you're a thief. And she's like, would anybody believe you? Really? Do you have any proof? But she wouldn't really want that sort of thing being out there in the world. She also might be a little bit into, someone's like, you figured me out. All right, what does your guild have to offer? It would be a situation. But I don't think currently, no. She'd be a member of the police force, whatever that form takes. But other than that, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, the major secret, quote unquote, secret societies right now in my world are the Runners, which is basically the Thieves Guild,
right,
and the Sparrows, which is a intelligence agency.
Right. Ooh. She maybe has had contact with a sparrow.
Yep.
But isn't one herself, I don't think. She might be an informant.
Okay.
A very occasional one.
Yeah. I mean, that could work out. Then she would know, like, all of them have a stylized sparrow tattooed somewhere on their body.
Yeah, right.
And maybe her contact has one, but only she would know.
Ah! I've always liked, in Blade, there is the familiars of the vampires have a mark somewhere, and one of them has one on the inside of the lip, and I'm just like, that's smart. That's very smart. I mean, you could just not mark your property, but, if you're gonna have to do it, that's not a bad place to hide it, because only a dentist is gonna go, oh, that's weird, why did you do that? That looks really painful.
I know, like, in the TV show Grimm, hex marks are usually on, like, an organ. Like a liver or the heart or something like that. And the hexen have a brand on the underside of their tongue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool.
So it's like, no.
Ow. Just having to sit there for hours going,
Yeah. Like, no.
No, thank you.
Like, just the idea of tattooing the inside of your mouth. No. I mean, I tattooed my feet and that hurt like a bitch. But the inside of your mouth? I
am 100% clean.
Not
by choice. I would be smothered in them if I were not an actor, because whenever you go for a role, people say, tattoos, scars. I'm like, I'm covered in scars, but no tats yet. And scars don't tend to be as much of a deal breaker, but if you're going for sort of anything period piece at all, then tattoos are just a no-go.
I really like how they incorporated Johnny Depp's Sparrow tattoo into his character.
Yeah.
Because it's one he got for his son, Jack.
Ah, right, okay.
And it's on his arm.
Right.
But he's a pirate, so...
Yeah.
What does your hero think of sorcery?
Potentially useful.
Yeah. Is she scared of it? Does she want it at some point?
Yeah, I think so. I think she'd like access to that. Like, another string to my bow, that'd be handy. I don't think she's scared of it, unless she's aware of, like, she's probably a little cautious around other people who can use it, if they are well known for it. She's like, this could be... She doesn't know enough about it to know what its limitations are.
So... Sorte is Fodachi, Porte I think is...
I have a question about what Lilith just said. Thanks to Josh, I now want to make Ciri multiclass to rogue.
Ciri is a tiefling bard.
Ah. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna Where is it? Where is it? Karen sent it to me. Yes, there it is. So, Daria made a... Daria, for my birthday, did a little pencil drawing of Ciri as a pirate. And it's super cute. And I have... and then Karen, for Christmas, for my Christmas present, got her to colorize it.
Ooh, nice.
And it's adorable. And I will share it here now. There we go. Cut. There we go. It's Siri. So that's why I was confused. Because my dog is also called Siri. And I have considered using that portrait as a character portrait. Potentially for someone in Humblewood, actually. That would make total sense. To have I don't know, like probably a Vulpin pirate. But yes, that was my Christmas present. It's also my home screen on my phone now. So, Lilith, are you thinking a roguelock? Good call. Like it. Why is that thanks to me?
I think it's the character concept you came up with. So a bard that can charm anyone, but also a thief.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Oh, valid. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Ciri is the best name, yes. Based presumably on the same place my dog's name is from The Witcher.
I love The Witcher. I should be playing more Witcher. Okay. Question 20 is the one I told you that you will need a lot of time to think about. So, if you could, what advice would you give your hero?
Ooh.
I don't expect you to be able to answer in the next 5 minutes, so...
No. Yeah.
Let's leave that one and get to the character sheet building section of this.
I wondered when that would come up. Yeah.
So this is like the big part of building a character in 7th Sea. The sheet itself is not that important.
This is the thing, Tony, like that sort of thing, I'm like, don't get caught, idiot. I'm like, she knows that. This is the thing. I don't know that there's very much that Josh knows that she wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like advice to give. It would probably be around letting herself be open again, open to, like, given what I know of her, which is presumably everything. Like, don't let that. I think the big thing would be don't let what happened to you color every future interaction you have with a member of the opposite sex, because it feels very much like she is at the moment doing that. Don't flirt with the right person like you flirt with others. Yeah, that's a good one, Lilith. I like that. Yeah.
Traits.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 additional points you can spend however you want on your traits. So, brawn is your strength and physical power.
Yep.
Finesse is coordination and agility.
Mm-hmm.
Resolve is willpower and endurance.
Yep.
Wits is how quickly you can think on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And panache charm.
Charm, yeah.
Yeah. So you have 2 points you can spend
points.
However you... Yes.
How do they affect rolls? Is it you add them to the roll? Is that the idea?
No. So your traits, the amount of points you have in a specific trait combined with the skill you decide to use for a risk is how many dice you have to roll.
Oh.
To create sets of 10 out of.
Right. Cool. In which case, I will definitely put 1 in finesse. And I think 1 in panache.
Okay.
I don't think she's a tough girl, nor is she a bulky girl. She's live. Yeah, so I got 1 in wits, 1 in panache, and 1 in finesse.
Okay. So, step 3 is background. You can choose 2 backgrounds.
Ooh.
So each background will give you a quirk and some advantages, and also some skills.
Uh-huh.
So there are a bunch of backgrounds.
Uh-huh.
And these are all just like based on your character concept, which ones you pick.
Yeah.
So archaeologist, most of them are like self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So you have archaeologist, aristocrat, army officer, artist, assassin, cavalry, courtier, which is you are a diplomat.
Yeah, right.
Crafter, criminal, doctor, duelist, engineer, explorer, farm kid, hunter, Jenny, also a aka prostitute.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Mercenary, merchant, naval officer, orphan, performer, pirate, priest, professor, pugilist, quartermaster, sailor, scholar, servant, ship captain, soldier, spy, and spy is the last one.
I like
So
spy.
Okay. So you serve your nation by infiltrating its enemies and securing their secrets. It can also be you infiltrate.
I mean, she's functionally being one right now. Yeah.
And you
criminal obviously comes up, makes sense.
Yeah. So the quirk you have as a spy is that you earn a hero point when you take a great risk to uncover a secret.
Ooh.
For the criminal, it is you earn a hero point when you break the law in the pursuit of a noble endeavor.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely criminal. I think
Okay.
gotta go criminal.
So then you type in criminal as one of your backgrounds.
Yep.
And in the quirk session, you will write. Let me copy this for you. Put it in the
advantages.
No, criminal is you have 2 slots that should say background.
Uh-huh. It's just the one up on the top
it's on
right.
the yeah, there are 2 lines there.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of room to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So top one, you just type in criminal.
Yep.
And then on the quirks, you have 2 slots. I've sent you the text in a PM.
Thank you. Earn a hero point when you break the law in pursuit of a noble endeavor.
Yep. So the advantages you get with this one is camaraderie, which I will have to see what that is. Where are you? Is it a 3 point? That's cool. There we go. Camaraderie. Whenever you spend a hero point to aid an ally, they gain 4 dice instead of 3.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
And where are you? And the second one from your background is, where did you go? There we go. Streetwise. Streetwise, where are you?
Streetwise.
Yeah, you can spend a hero point to locate a fixer, an information broker, a black market, or similar underworld figure.
Ooh.
It's also a really good one. So, Streetwise is this text.
Oh, thank you. I've done the camaraderie.
Yep. And let's see, your skills for criminal is 1 point in athletics.
Yep.
1 in empathy.
Empathy. Mm-hmm.
1 in hide. one in intimidate,
Uh-huh.
and one in theft.
Yeah. Cool.
So you have one more background to choose from.
I do like the sound of spy. Are there any others
Okay.
that sort of jump out to you as potentially good idea for this one? Farm kid also occurs, actually.
Yeah. You were raised on a small farm working to survive and have never known the life of adventure.
Nah, that's not it.
Before, no.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
What else? I mean, spy would fit pretty well. This is
Yeah, I think
not
so.
just for.
It's
what
not
she
just
does
you're
now,
actually a
but-
spy. It's anybody who seeks out information. You don't have to work for a government. You could work as a corporate spy. I mean, she's effectively
Exactly.
making a spy for herself right now in her
Yeah.
current job. So I reckon spy is probably a valid point.
Yeah.
Spy.
So the quirk is earn a hero point when you take a great risk to uncover a secret. Let me copy that for you.
Yep.
This, there we go. Oh, these are some really good ones. So the first advantage is opportunist. Let me see what that one says.
Take a great risk to uncover a secret.
There we go. Opportunist. When another hero spends a race to create an opportunity, you can spend a hero point to immediately activate the opportunity for yourself.
Ooh.
There you go. And the second one was... Let me check. Nope, that was too far. Oh yeah, there are also specific ones for the region you're from. Alchemist, I forgot about this. Alchemista, alchemist, anthropologist, duelist, or priest. So let's see. The second one is poison immunity.
Poison immunity.
Yeah. There we go. Poison never affects you aside from some potential mild discomfort. If the poison would ordinarily kill you, it might cause you only to vomit instead, but there are no additional effects.
Wow.
This is basically the same as the able drinker one, where you can drink however much you want, you will never get drunk.
Yeah.
So those are the backgrounds.
That's very cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot the.
And it gives you skills. Yeah.
Yes. So for spy, you get another point in empathy,
Cool.
another one in hide, and another one in theft.
Nice.
You also get 1 point in notice.
That's
And 1
probably
point
good.
and 1 point in tempt.
Tempt. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that tracks.
You also gain another 10 points to add to your existing skills from your backgrounds, or to add new skills to your sheet. You cannot raise any skill above 3.
Right.
Well,
10
at
points.
the start. Yep.
Ooh. I'm gonna say 3 points in convince straight off the bat.
Nice.
It has to be skills, not traits.
Yeah, skills.
Yeah. Okay.
The traits you will be able to increase later on.
Definitely one in theft as well to bring that to 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4.
Yep.
What do warfare and weaponry do? Like, what does that relate to? Weaponry presumably is your like attack stat.
Yeah. Let me double check that before I say something. Use when you attack something with a sword, axe, hammer, or knife in your hand.
Right.
Warfare is tactical expertise or like breach sieges and stuff like that.
Yeah. She definitely isn't that. I think I'm gonna crank one more into athletics for a 5th. For 6, 1 in perform and 1 in aim, and 7.
Yep.
1 in weaponry. I don't think she's very handy with a blade, but she knows her way around it. She would basically, for basic training for police work, I would have thought there'd be at least 1 there. It's for 8. I want to like be specific and make her good at a few very specific things.
Yeah. So notice is investigation.
Yeah. So definitely probably pop another one in that for 9. I think 2 for hiding is enough. It's more about thieving. And climbing is the athletics, presumably.
Yeah.
What's empathy? Is empathy?
But it's basically insight.
Yeah.
If you go by D&D terms.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind having 2. I don't think she needs any more than that, though.
Yep.
I don't think she rides, and I don't think she sails. She bats her eyelids prettily at somebody else, and they do it for her.
So tempt.
Yeah, so probably another attempt. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think that's 10. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. Advantages. You then have another 5 points to buy more advantages for.
Oh wow, okay.
So 1 point advantages is able drinker, cast iron stomach, direction sense, foreign born, which doesn't really apply here. You can be large, linguist, sea legs, small, or survivalist or time sense. Those are the ones that cost 1 point.
I just saw what Lilith said. I'll be. She does not ride, you say? I'll be in my corner now. Hey, chaotic goblin. Nice to see you.
Naughty.
I should not be here. No, I think you're in exactly where you should be. Of course she rides, and I feel like I should. But I think I made my point by putting it in tempt, actually, Lilith.
Yes.
Yeah. She sometimes goes.
Yeah, I was about to say this pertains to horses, but then I remembered there are centaurs in my world, so.
Would a half centaur be?
Depends on.
They do.
Weird.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Let's leave it at that. All right. Sorry.
So,
yes.
2 point advantages would be barterer, come hither, connection, disarming smile, eagle eyes, extended family, fascinate. I think you already took that one. No, you took signature weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend at court. Got it, which is immediately picking locks and stuff. Handy, indomitable will, inspire generosity and leadership, married to the sea, perfect balance, poison immunity, which you already have. over here, if you want to lure characters away.
Oh, yeah.
Reckless takedown, reputation, second story work, slip free, which is you use a hero point to ropes just magically vanish.
Mm-hmm.
Sorcery, stare down, streetwise, which you already have,
Yeah.
team player, and valiant spirit. 3 point advantages are an honest misunderstanding, which is you can turn your words around. Bar fighter, boxer, bruiser, brush past. Camaraderie, which you already got.
Yeah.
Deadeye, dynamic approach, fencer, foul weather jack, masterpiece crafter, opportunist, another one you already have. Ordained, patron, quick reflexes, rich, sniper, tenure, virtuoso.
Oh, wow. What's that?
4 point. You choose a specific
Something
performance type.
really good. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a musical instrument sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's singing, musical instrument, dancing, stuff like that. You get bonus if you use it.
It doesn't really match her background.
Yep. 4 point advantages is military academy, alchemist, hard to kill, legendary trait. Okay. You can choose a trait. Whenever you roll a risk using that trait, you remove 1 die from your pool, and that die always counts as a 10.
Wow.
Lyceum is basically you've studied rhetoric and debate.
Right.
Miracle worker, riot breaker. That one doesn't apply to you, Cider, because that's for a different country. Specialist, trusted companion, or you've studied at the university. And the 5 point advantages are duelist academy. I won't die here, which is second wind.
Just gets up. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a hero point, presumably.
And taking you with me is basically spend a hero point to have all damage that you do this round increased by the number of dramatic wounds you have. So yeah.
Which is the 4 stars, is it, presumably?
Yes, exactly.
So if you've got 3 of them, yeah.
Yeah. Joie de vivre, which is just before a confrontation with a villain occurs, spend a hero point and make some sort of pithy or clever comment.
Yeah.
About how when things look darkest, that's when the souls shine brightest. Each hero that hears the speech counts all dice that roll equal to or under their skill on their next roll as 10s.
Wow.
Spark of genius. Strength of 10. When you perform a feat of raw strength, but don't really think that applies. Spend a hero point to increase all of your individual dice for that risk by your brawn or resolve. The devil's own luck. Spend a hero point after you take a risk to re-roll any number of dice you wish. Together we are strong. Spend a hero point to give any number of your races to another hero in the same scene, as long as they can see or hear you.
Wow.
And we are not so different. Spend a hero point to convince a villain you are on their side. But yeah, you have 5 points to put in these different things.
I think I want second story work.
Yes, let me see where that one.
I think that's 2 pointer.
That's 2 points, yes. So do you have 3 more to go?
There was a 4 pointer that sounded really good. Not that I can remember what it was called now.
Academy, alchemist, hard to kill, legendary trait, Lyceum, which is the rhetoric, Miracle Worker, Riot Breaker, Specialist, Trusted Companion, or University Trained are the 4.1s.
Yeah.
Yeah, legendary trait is choose a trait whenever you roll a risk.
Oh, that was
using
it. That was
trait.
it. Yeah. Yeah, the legendary trait sounded dope. It's like an auto success.
Yeah, you get one of your dice. There's a 10. That's one race. No questions about it.
Yeah. Sets of 15 equal 2 raises. Ooh.
Yeah.
With a rank 4 in skills.
Yeah.
What can you read me the level 1 ones again? Because I really like the legendary ability thing. That will be because I think that is actually very her. I think legendary finesse makes a lot of sense.
So the 1.1s are Able Drinker, Cast Iron Stomach, Direction Sense, Foreign Born, which doesn't really apply.
Yeah.
Large, Linguist, Sea Legs, Small, Survivalist, Time Sense are the
I think
1
several
point.
of those could be kind of handy. Time sense sounds good. Direction sense sounds good. Small? Is that useful? Because she is quite.
If your small size makes a risk easier using hide to squeeze into tiny spaces and escape and such things, you get 1 extra die.
Ooh. I think small makes sense, actually.
Okay.
Linguist was the other one that sounded really handy.
Yeah. You can speak and read all languages.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense for her too, actually. Yeah. Let's do linguist and legendary finesse.
Yep. So I'm gonna give you this one. Linguist is that one, and then legendary trait was in the 4.1s. There we go.
Even
And-
dead ones.
Yes. And that right Althean doesn't really apply, but it would be all the languages connected to my world.
Yeah.
And then we only have 1 step left in character creation, which is your Arcana. Which is basically what is your virtue and what is your hubris.
Right.
I can read them out to you, or you can roll dice for them. It is completely up to you.
I hate this bit. Why do you do this? Never mind. Alrighty, yeah. No, read them out. Tell you what.
Okay.
Why don't we roll for them? And if I like them, then we'll keep
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. Yep. So 2 sets of 20.
2 sets of 20. Alrighty. In which case, can I get a couple of D20s in chat, please?
Yep.
Exclamation
So
mark, roll space 20. Tony comes in strong with an 11 for the virtue.
Yeah. So here you can either choose to use both under that specific arcana, or pick, in this case, the virtue of that arcana.
And Lilith's
So
got a
it's-
straight up 20.
Nice. So let's go with the number 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
20, baby.
So, number 11 is the Hanged Man. Your virtue is altruistic, Activate your virtue to suffer a risk's consequences in place of another hero.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. The hubris is indecisive. You receive a hero point when your hero takes an action to pause in hesitation, doubt, or uncertainty before she makes a move.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Like, really good. Like it. Could milk the shit out of that. But I don't think it's Olena. Lenya at all, sadly. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Lilith. And what's the 20?
The 21 is the Emperor. So this was for the hubris. Hot-headed. You receive a hero point when your hero flies off the handle and loses her temper, causing trouble.
Don't think she does.
But
I don't.
Virtue is commanding. Activate your virtue. The GM gives a hero point to all other heroes in this scene.
How do you activate that virtue?
You just say it. I want to activate my virtue.
Okay.
You can only do it once per scene, though. Once per session.
Right. Oh, Castellan just jumps in and goes, boop, subs. Castellan, you bloody champion. Hey, mate, how are you? See ya. Thanks very much for joining us. You are always welcome here, Castellan. It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Ardanna and I are looking at 7th C. You have activated my sub card. Yeah, you did. Castellan, you bloody champion. Castellan, tell you what, can you roll me a D20, please? ! Roll space 20. Because currently I'm leaning towards the Tony's 11 for the, like, that's super good. Commanding, is super good. 14. How's that for a hubris?
Let's see. I need to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rolls.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Stellan, we are looking at the game 7th C,
12.
which is an interesting one. And yeah, very story heavy. Ooh.
The Moonless Night. Virtue, subtle. Activate your virtue when you act behind the scenes from the shadows or through a proxy. For the next risk, when you determine races, every die counts as a race.
That's very good. What's the hubris?
Confusion. You receive a hero point when your hero fails to understand an important plot element, and that misunderstanding leads to danger for herself or others.
Play that. That I could easily play. What I do? You gave me a good hubris, buddy. You actually gave me a good virtue and a good hubris. That's tricky.
I mean, you can choose both if you want. You don't have to choose the other ones. If this fits your character better than...
I think they do, though, actually. Yeah, let's go with both. Fuck it. Let's have both the 14s. Thanks very much, Castellan. You gave me 2 very cool character traits that fit the sort of build I'm going for.
There we go. So your Arcana is the Moonless Night. And I sent you both the text so you can post them in your character sheet. And that is really that.
Wow.
Next up is that in order for you to increase your skills, 7C does not work with levels.
Right.
Instead, you do something called stories.
Right.
So, for example, if you want to increase let's see, your which one should we go with your theft, which is at 3 points right now, if I remember right. You would need a 4-step story.
Right.
And you finish 1 step per session.
Okay.
So it would take you roughly 4 sessions to complete your story. And the amazing thing is that you and I would work together to create the story steps.
Yeah.
So you would know how it ends.
Cool. Yeah.
So for a 4-step story, you would know how it starts. You would know each step you have to hit in order to increase it. And then you know how it ends. But everything in between is up to roleplay.
Awesome. Yeah. This is very cool. I like the sound of this system.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Castellan. Take care, buddy. Great, dinner's here. Bye.
So for example, like one of your steps might be that you fail a theft you would know you should have hit.
Right. Yeah.
A target you know would not have found you discovers you.
Right.
So that could be one of the story steps because
Right.
it's dramatic. It fits the narrative. It's
so it doesn't have to happen in 4 sessions. It has to happen in 4 steps, and you have to hit those steps to get that right.
Yes.
So do you almost decide what goal you are aiming for at the beginning of the narrative, and then work towards it quietly with the DM? Like the DM then tells you what it happens, or you sort of come up with it on the fly.
Normally, at the start of a the start of an adventure, all heroes at the table, all players, would sit down and like, okay, so I have this story, and it fits in with your story this way, who fits in with the third person story this way, and you would work together to create a narrative that fits all stories. But not everyone would have as many steps to their stories. So, for example, for a one-shot, if you for example want 1 point in ride, that would only be 1 step.
Yeah.
So it would take 1 session. Meanwhile, say Tyrsday's character wants to hit a 5-point skill because they already have 4 points in it. Yeah. That would take 5 steps. Take a lot longer.
Yeah.
And if you want to max out theft to start with, that would be a 4-step story and a 5-step one.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So that is basically how the leveling system works in 7th.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming over and explaining it. I'm really happy.
Thank you for having me.
like Olenia. She's I'm really excited to be playing this. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. So, when are we looking at starting this campaign? We were talking end of March?
We were talking 2nd or 4th week of March.
Yeah.
Because your commitment.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I will be back from Adelaide on the 7th. And then I believe that weekend I am going down to see some family friends who are coming up from the UK. But after that, I am all free, baby. And because I no longer teach, I can my Thursday afternoon are now freed up as well, which is nice. Thanks, Tony. Yeah. Gimme. So yeah.
And it's gonna be every other week because otherwise I'm going to burn myself out.
And we don't want that. I was. Yeah, Christmas burned me out to the point where I'm only just now getting back into our regular streaming schedule because I just couldn't. January is always a bit quiet for us anyway. And I will be going away in a couple of weeks for 12 days. But yes, don't burn out. Good idea. No, we don't.
I've done it twice. Don't recommend it.
Yeah. Don't forget Lincoln in May, Tony says. So, Ardanna, who the absolute heck are you? Where can we find you? And yes, tell us about yourself.
I am Ardanna, or Joe. Lilith tries to call me Oi from time to time, mostly because I sometimes actually respond to that. I am the channel runner and GM over on the Lore Right. I have some people who might be popping in and guest GMing there soon.
Interesting.
One of them is my DM for Old School Essentials that I will be playing tonight. One of the reasons why I was nearly burned out before Christmas. You can find me on the Lorite here or as the Lorite over on YouTube. I also have Instagram that I never ever update because I don't do social media.
So don't bother with that.
Yeah, exactly. You can follow there, but sometimes I might update something. I don't know.
I have a Karen for that.
Yeah, my partner is even less on social media than I am. So
I understand.
Yeah, I tend to stream at least 3 times a week over on my channel. At least 2 times. Just 2 times.
Don't burn yourself out.
No, exactly.
And go and check those things out. Can strongly recommend. Ardanna, lovely person, much good, very well.
Thank you.
Where can you buy one of those Karen thingies? Tony, they're a collector's item, honestly. I've only encountered one in my entire life, and I locked that shit down fast. Would strongly endorse if you ever do encounter one. Darn it, yeah, sorry, buddy. And Mesdames and Monsieur Dame de Heron and Beings of Indeterminate Gender and Persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, which I run with me lovely lady wife, the mother of bunnies, Karen herself. And we do stuff like this. We take deep dives into game systems and how they work. We play D&D and other game systems as well. And on Thursday nights, Karen and I just, for the next few weeks, are just going to be hanging out playing Slay the Spire, because it's good fun. If you enjoy, we do Mutant Chronicles. We are looking at Monster of the Week. I want to have Castellan come and run that because Castellan and I built 4 characters for it on a Tactics Tyrsday a little while ago, and we loved them so much we were like, we want these characters. So we need to get Castellan over to do that. If you like my majestic voice, you can check me out in the podcast There Be Dragons, which Castellan DMs. So if you want to see Castellan's vocal stylings, you can check me out there and him as well as Karen too. We're all involved. It's very incestuous. In fact, we've even gotten Rachel Fukar involved, but you have to stick around for a while. She is a new member of the cast, and we haven't caught up quite to that point in the story yet, in the release schedule. But yes, we have all the exclamation mark socials, as I'm sure you all lovely people lovely know.
I bet it's not as incestuous as BBC actors, though.
Oh, it's pretty close, but it's very small. It's up there. We have the Tube of You. Tomorrow I will be uploading the next Yusuf video as well to the YouTubes. Yes, where we go in and have a look at a good multi-class for a paladin, but one you might not have considered. We shot it this afternoon, and I'm going to edit it tomorrow and probably upload tomorrow evening. This one will also go up as well because, Tactics Tuesday is the thing that I upload stuff to. And if you want to join us on our Discord, you can. It's here. We also are affiliated with Wooden Forge, the wonderful chaps over at Wooden Forge Gaming Accessories. You can buy beautiful things like this handcrafted wooden tabletop accessory. My dice keeper, in which I roll all the dice for the channel what I play on. Check out their beautiful work at woodenforge.com/Corsair's Cove, and we get a cheeky kickback if you're bloody champions. The last thing we do need to talk about is the Ukrainian people are having a bit of a rough time of it right now, as you may have noticed, and the Emergency Action Appeal and the Curious Compendium of Slavic Myth are 2 awesome ways to show your support for the people who are doing it hard over there. The emergency action appeal goes to help Ukrainian refugees, and the Curious Compendium of Slavic Myth is a 38-page D&D booklet that you can buy to support the British Red Cross. All proceeds go directly to it, and yeah, it is very good. You were part of the one-shot, weren't you, Adam? You come and play the one-shot with us?
I was not. I couldn't make it.
Yes, if you want to check out that one-shot that is in the Curious Compendium of Slavic Myth, you can, because it's on our YouTube. We ran it.
Yes.
The Legend of the Firebird, the Jarpatita. And it's really good story, really fun. Can endorse. Much wow, very strong. Karen and I will be back Thursday night, so you can come and join us then. But I think we need to go and raid somebody, and I haven't raided the Dreaded GM in like forever, so we're going to do that. Because it's actually where I met Ardanna.
I think it's still up, but if you want, you can go and check out Jack picking apart that one shot. With commentary over on his channel.
Interesting.
I think it's still there. It might not be because it might have fallen out of the VODs, but
right.
if it's still there, I highly recommend it because it was great.
Oh, okay. Like picking apart in a nice way, like just going about like plot point by plot point, or like what?
No,
how do you mean?
He was going over the story and like doing some commentary as a professional DM. Like this is like just commentary on it. It was pretty neat, actually.
Interesting. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we will go and raid the Dreaded GM now. Dread is an amazing person and a splendid streamer, and just a nice guy as well. That's the thing. Dread was one of the first people I ever played with in the D&D Twitch space, and it's still one of my favorite character interactions. Dread and I play two characters with the same soul. And we didn't know that when we started, and it was great. And it's a real shame that we don't have, for various legal reasons, we do not have the videos up on the YouTube anymore, which is very sad. Or we never did. It never went up because we were streaming on Goa. Come and join us over there. Throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat. Tell Dread where you came from. Show him the love. He is just chatting, so we'll go and just chat with Dread. Sounds like a lovely way to spend our evenings. Say goodbye, Ardanna.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.